They can call us at 763-688-1172, or they can email us at events@classichallmn.com.
Perfect. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Buffalo Community Podcast. This is episode 17, and we're actually re-recording because we lost some footage from, called pre-COVID. But we've got Classic Hall Event Center with us and Britt Haskins. But before we get there, we need an introduction. You know who does this voice?
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reese and Mark Benzer.
Working on that fade.
Yeah, that's a good fade.
Mark, let's take it over.
Brittany, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for having us again.
Version 2, version 1 if you're watching at home or listening at home.
Yeah.
But
us three only encountered number 1.
Yeah. So
this will be a lot better.
Yeah, it will be. We've stepped up our game a little bit. So I think it'll be.
We expect you to do the same.
Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
But yeah, Brittany Haskins, Classic Hall Event Center. Thanks for coming back and re-recording with us. And why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is you do and.
Absolutely. So I am the new owner of Classic Hall Event Center. I took over ownership about a year ago. And prior to that, I was the event manager out there for Brad Burns for about 4 or 5 years prior to that. So I take care of all of the weddings, events, fundraisers, galas, graduation parties. We do funeral luncheons, any type of event that you can think of, we do it. So
I think one of the biggest questions that people have as they drive by, are those your cars?
No.
And I knew that answer because, we've already done this.
Yeah.
So there's two different things. It's a Classic Hall Event Center and
Classic Rides and Rods.
Rides and Rods.
And they're two completely businesses.
Two separate businesses. So if you're thinking about that, when you have your event, you can see the cars, but don't go over by the cars. Right?
No, you can actually. The cars that we have there, they are all for sale, and they consign them. They go all over the country with them for car auctions and stuff like that. And we actually got some really cool wedding photos from couples that take photos with the cars because their theme is like the 50s rockabilly theme. Sure. So we've got some pretty cool photos, and as long as they let us know prior to, we just make sure they look nicer, cleaned up. I don't allow them to. I just kicked you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We don't allow them to sit on the car or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they we have some pretty cool photos with them. So.
Very fun. So this is the Buffalo Community Podcast.
Yes.
So Classic Hall Event Center is actually in Annandale.
Yes.
Your connection to Buffalo.
My connection to Buffalo. So we actually have our corporate office here in town, which we call Classic Events. So we do both. We have the on-site facility in Annandale, but we also do off-site events and planning. So we go all around central Minnesota. So we actually have our corporate office right in the big, I call it the Pfeiffer building, right off of 55 across from
Which
McDonald's.
Pfeiffer building?
The big 215 building, one, because he has all of them. But so we moved here. A year ago, actually, in May was a year ago. And then I'm actually married to Dusty Haskins that grew up here in town. He thinks he's a local legend, so we'll just
Never heard of him.
Insert highlight video here. just kidding.
We actually are celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary next Thursday. So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We love to kind of talk about, well, actually, we don't love to talk about it because, global pandemic, that really disrupted your business
Massively.
quite a bit, didn't it?
Massively, yes.
So we're going to go back to, I think we recorded in January or February.
I think it was right around in there. Because it was for their event coming up in March.
Yep. So you had an event with the local CEO program at Right Tech.
Yes.
That's when we recorded. But since then, they basically shut events down.
Yep.
On there. So how have you kind of dealt with that? How have you changed some things up, and maybe with some lifted restrictions, how's that coming about now?
It was very trying, to say the least. We actually got shut down. They closed everything down the week of their event, of the CEO program. So that was interesting. And all the students who were like, whoa, what could we have done to prepare for this? I'm like, you can't. I'm 34 years old, and I've never encountered
question,
a
kids.
pandemic. So I said, we're all learning on this. And I said, it is going to be a really good learning experience for you guys too, to see like how businesses go about and what they're going to do. We've had to, since March until June, we've had to either cancel or postpone over 30 events. Some of them we can't even redo because they're like graduation parties, and like the Buffalo Hospital Foundation, they usually do their big spring tonic fundraiser, so that got canceled this year, which is kind of sad too, because they make some pretty decent money for that for the hospital. It's just been trying to find random things to bring extra income in to keep the doors open and everything. So I actually picked up a part-time job over at Target in Monticello to help out with that. And we have a bridal boutique that we do where we do a lot of like customization for our couples, but we've opened that up now to the public. So we've been doing a bunch more of that. So I just kind of find ways to keep business going. And then we actually got the green light to open as of last Wednesday. So now we can have events up to 250 people with the proper distance
Well, let's
thing.
see if I can do this.
That's nice.
Sorry.
No, you're good. But what's crazy is the recommendations that we have to follow now for all of the sanitation and stuff. So we actually have a 4-page protocol list that we have to follow that I put together. So I have a protocol list for the guests that are coming in. I have a protocol list for the vendors that are coming in, one for my staff, and then one for the entire facility as itself. So, and actually I had a meeting with the Annandale city administrator and the mayor out there and the chief of police, and they all signed off on the thing. They said it's one of the best ones they've seen. So we are going to make sure everybody, we have enough space in that building that even if we sit everybody 7.5, 8 feet apart, we can still fit over 500 people comfortably. So 250 will be a breeze.
No problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's the average event that people
So
have?
actually this year, normally it's been around the 250 mark. This year though, weddings were getting back up to the 350 to 500, which I like those big events. Sometimes the big events are easier to work with than some of the little tinier ones. But it's sad to see all of those big events now going like, now we're going to postpone for another year. And I'm like, I was really excited for this. So,
Yeah, and you kind of answered my question of, that Classic Hall Event Center is a very large space.
Yes.
And so, and in my head, I was thinking 250 people is a pretty big event. But sounds like that's more average size almost than anything. So, but so nice to have that large space and to allow people to have social distancing. And
well, the nice thing too is like, since they have the pavilion in town out there that they can do some events at, and they have like the restaurants, but they can't hold big numbers, especially with like all this social distancing and all that stuff too. So it kind of opens up a whole new avenue for us as well to bring in more of like the smaller events. So we put together like now that we can open stuff up, we put together like some graduation party packages for them to be able to actually still have it and celebrate them without having to do a virtual party or anything like that. So we'll have a little bit more revenue or avenues coming in of smaller events that we can do now that other places won't be able to do.
And that, so the graduation party packages, first time we talked, you also talked about Offsite events that you coordinate or basically plan, and you can basically deliver a birthday party in a box for people, which I didn't know about prior, and I think is such a cool idea, cool concept that I had never thought or heard of before. But tell us a little bit about that. Yeah,
so it's called Party in a Box. So it could be either like a graduation party, it could be a 16th birthday party, it could be any kind of party. And what it is that it's meant for 16 people, and we can always customize that to add more to it. But it's the starting package of 16 supplies for 16 people. So we have a consultation where you tell us like, okay, what's the theme? If it's going to be Wonder Woman or like Paw Patrol or whatever it is that you guys are doing for your kids. We meet together, we go through all that, and then me and my staff, we do all the shopping, we put all things together, we put a theme, the whole kit together, box it all up nicely, and then we actually like we deliver it to your door. So you guys don't have to go out to do any of the work, we do it. And then if you wanted to, for an additional setup fee we do, we can come in and set everything up, so that way you literally just get to show up and say like happy birthday or whatever. So
look what we did.
Yeah. One of the fun things that I am like obsessed with is balloon arches and like balloon walls. So I think the biggest balloon wall that I got to help make at one point was over 500 balloons that we did. So it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah.
I think you need one right here.
Yeah, you were just talking about that, and you're like, whatever theme, and I was thinking Paw Patrol in my mind, and when you said, I'm like, oh my goodness, and as you were saying balloon arches, I'm like, I should have put one here. But
well, we have a graduation party coming up in July, sorry, and the graduate loves dinosaurs, I guess. So her mom messaged me and asked me if we could do a donut wall in the shape of a dinosaur, and I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. So I'm like looking up at designs, and then I found.
Did you say donut wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna need an invitation. this party here.
Yeah, everything's better with donuts on a wall. But I found like this really cool. What do you call it? Like a installation form that it's like and you put together balloons and it turns into dinosaurs. So like how to make like a long neck or a Tyrannosaurus Rex like out of just balloons. So I'm like, oh, I think you might have to add a couple of these to this.
Wow.
You had no idea, did you?
I had no idea. I still don't understand how a donut wall.
Oh my God. So we had a wedding a couple years ago. The bride sent us a picture of this really cute little, it's like a wooden stand that you set up on a table, and there's little pegs, like little dowels that stick out, and you put donuts on it. And she's like, I really like this idea. So me, being the wife that I am, pulled up Pinterest. I said, hey, Dave, I need this one. Make this for me. And he's like, okay. He's like, how big? He's like 4 feet. I'm like, no, like 8 feet. Like I need 8 feet wide. So we built, he built this gigantic donut wall that we actually, those floating shelves you can buy at the store. Yep. We put 4 of those on there as well, a bunch of all these dowels, and then we got a really cool donut wording printed out, and we got that all glued onto it, and it holds over 400 donuts on it. So then I take like candlesticks and plates and glue them together, and oh man, it looks really cool.
Wow.
Is that in lieu of a wedding cake?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that was an option.
So you just go grab your donut off the peg.
Yeah.
I didn't know donuts was an option.
Oh man, everything's option. We've done like bite-sized cheesecakes, cookies. We did an ice cream bar once where we actually had a soft serve ice cream machine in there and all the sprinkles and toppings. And I think next year we have a wedding coming out, and What's the Scoop from here in town is going to come out with their thing and serve dessert that way.
Nice local plug there.
Yeah, I know. There you go. Oh, I love their ice cream.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, just what are they going to be? When I got married. 2007.
Like how you just went with the year, didn't calculate how many years you've been married.
13.
Yeah, right, there you go. So, what are they going to be doing 13 years from just they're getting so creative, and that's where you come in. And the fact that somebody can say, hey, here's my idea, and you can say, I'll make it happen, is just kudos to you for that. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we go to Las Vegas every year for the big wedding convention that they have out there. And Minnesota is one that we are like 5 years behind any single trend that comes out. So a couple of years ago, it's totally true though.
It's our Midwest stick-it-to-itness.
Yeah, like we don't want to change our stuff. But the cool trend I found out there was floating dessert bars. So I brought that concept back to where we took an 8-foot table and we hooked it up to chains from the ceiling, and then like wrapped up the chain so you couldn't see it with like lights, so it looks all pretty and like lit up. And then the table literally just swung. It was a suspended wedding cake table. So like all the desserts there, so it can go all the way around the table, and then like there was no legs or anything on it. And
wow.
See, you guys need to have a party because I can do a lot of cool stuff.
This is why you hire an event planner.
Exactly.
Because I would have some card tables set up over here.
Over there.
And we'll put
coolers,
some dessert on it, and then we'll put another
your
card
igloo
table.
cooler over here.
Yeah.
It's like red and the blue one over there.
Yeah.
Nice segue of what's the most unusual request?
Oh, we had
unless it's way too specific where your client is going to be like,
or not family
friendly.
Me? Yeah.
No, we had a wedding a couple years ago that excuse me, that they had they were doing vases in the middle, and they were like really big into movies and excuse me, and they wanted goldfish and betta fish in these things, and I was like, okay, and all I could think of was like, okay, I remember high school prom and all the guys in my group, they're all like, oh, let's shoot a goldfish, So I'm like, this is not going to end well at all. And so I'm like, okay, well, that's fine as long as you can like assure me that people aren't going to be messing with these fish. Well, that wasn't the problem. The problem was that they wanted these LED lights in the water. So they went and bought these LED lights, and there's actually ones that are made for water submission or whatever.
Okay.
Well, they didn't have those. So they they had the lights or whatever, and they put them in there, and they had them turned on. And the moment they turned them on, it was like, and like all these little fish. I'm like, oh no! Like, so by the time the wedding was happening, we had to go around and like replace fish because like fish were belly up because they got electrocuted basically.
Fish stick appetizers.
Oh man, I did, and they're like, they'll last, and I'm like, yeah, goldfish I can't keep alive for more than 4 hours at home, you know.
Without being electrocuted.
Yeah, these poor little fish. I just like
goodness.
we're like sneaking around the place like grabbing all the fish. Like,
You're like, yep. The things that you never expect you'll have to do.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Yeah.
Whenever you think that you've heard it all, then the next one comes and you're like, oh, okay then.
Yeah. But the next time somebody asks for goldfish.
Answer is no. Not happening.
Yeah.
That's a hard no.
Yeah.
Well, there's like some things in our contract too that it's like, okay, the building is as is. Like if you have ever been in there, we do have like the outdoor facades in there. And we've had people ask to remove the walls. Like, can you take down the buildings for a wedding? It's like, well, if I take down the buildings, that's taking down like all the walls of our facility. So like there's things in our contract that people are like, you really have to put that in there. I'm like, somebody's asked. Like, there's a contract for a reason. There's things in it for a reason. So
that's funny. So going from unusual request, what's your favorite type of event to host?
I love weddings. They just are a lot more intimate, and there are a lot more excitement to them than like a yearly fundraiser or yearly whatever else. And they, especially when you get like the brides are like, they hire us to do all their decorating for them. So then we get to really have all of our creativity get to come out into the design, and then seeing them walk in and then just, I don't know, I always call them like, I always get like goosebumps. Like they get married at the facility and there's like my little birdies leaving the nest when I'm done with them. I love doing the weddings and.
So talking about your events, you're involved in some local programs, that entrepreneur class.
Yep.
Anything else that you're involved in, or maybe talk a little bit about that program?
Yeah, so I have been part of the Buffalo Hospital Foundation for the last couple of years, helping them with their fundraiser. I'm co-chair of the Annandale Ambassador Program, like for the royalty and things like that. And then here in town, I do, I call myself the class mentor because I usually end up being everybody's mentor for the Right Tech CEO program. And then this year was my first year on their board as well. So that program is like the best. It's for juniors and seniors. They apply for it. They go meet at 7:30 in the morning before class even starts. And they go through what it's like to become a business owner and what it's like to own your own business. So they do tons of different tours of facilities around the area, meet different business owners. And then the biggest thing they do is they pick a business that they want to open, and then they do business plans with it. And then they do these fundraisers. And then at the end of the year, what they make, they get to actually use as seed money to start their business. So it's really cool to see. Yeah.
Yeah, you can refer back to episode.
I think it's 4.
4?
I think it was 4.
Was it Right Tech Kids?
I think maybe it was 3. Anyway, go back in our old shows and you'll be able to see the interviews with all those kids. It just impressive. So thanks for being a part of that program.
Yeah.
How'd you get started with it? You know, as far as maybe you love events, but the business aspect, there's a lot more to it than just donut walls and
balloon walls and goldfish. And I actually, so 2015 was my first year at the hall, and it was the first year that the CEO program started. And I actually received an email from Mark Lee, who's the facilitator over there, wondering if I would be interested in having the kids come out and tour the facility and like meet with me as a business owner out there. And I was like, oh, sure, absolutely. And then me and him hit it off. And then next thing I know, he was asking me to be a mentor, and now 5 years later, still their mentor and on the board now. So
it's very fun. We volunteer various things as well. I think it's a really cool thing to kind of give back to the community.
Yes.
And I think Buffalo does a really great job of that in a lot of different aspects. The CEO program, or mentoring, and Phoenix Learning Center, and the high school. And I just wanted to say thank you because last week we had the Hall of Fame inductees in.
Yeah.
And I think it just really shines through.
Dom was on.
Yep.
I saw that. Yep.
And Amanda, I think it was just like a great testament to business owners giving back to the community with literally nothing in return expected of just, you know what, giving these kids an opportunity, giving back to the people that support you as well. Can you remember what's the greatest piece of advice somebody's given you?
I grew up on the farm, and it was always, I had a military father, and it was always, don't be a doormat. Like, if you want something, you go for it, and just because somebody tells you no doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So just to keep pushing forward and doing that. And I always tell my favorite quote that I've ever seen in my entire life was, you can't have $1 million dream with a minimum wage mindset. So that's kind of what I tell the students all the time. Like, you can't expect to have everything the first day if you're not willing to put in the work down here for it first. Sure. So, but yeah, it was always never be a doormat. Like, just don't get pushed over and being told you can't do something. And so.
My farm advice was keep your fingers out of your mouth.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much wisdom flying around here right now.
I'm talking like $1 million dreams. He's like, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Don't put your fingers in your mouth.
Right. Exactly.
Sounds like we all have kids.
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. Anything else you have before we start our speed round?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot of ground. I think if people didn't know about Classic Hall Event Center, they certainly do. And I think it goes beyond just, I think my eyes have been open to what it is you're getting when you hire an event planner.
Yep.
And I knew what an event planner was, and I always felt like, it'd be helpful to have an event planner, but I could probably do it myself. And but how it can take an event from just okay to getting that.
Yeah, and
next
to
level
put it into even more like perspective, they an average wedding planner usually spends about 400 hours on one event to plan it. So, and then we have roughly about 50 a year that we are working on. So we are, when people, like, our office hours are 10 to 4, but it's literally like 7 a.m. until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning some days getting things going.
400 hours. Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah, and
wow.
like, a lot of people don't see that because when they walk into an event, it's like, oh, look at the event, it's all pretty. It's like, there's behind the scenes that a lot of people forget that happen. Like, it's not just, you don't just walk in and it happens for you. So.
Yep. Well, we always like to do a little bit of a speed round question.
Yeah.
You can't be looking at
sorry.
Can't be looking at the answers here, the questions. Do you have any locked and loaded right away?
No,
I wrote a few down.
Yeah, I will have some locked and loaded.
Okay. First thing that comes to mind, you don't have to explain yourself at all.
Okay.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook.
Apple or Android?
Android.
Oh, sorry. Burgers or pizza?
Burgers.
Mountains or beach?
Or.
What would the or be then?
I don't know. I'm not really. I'll go with mountains.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'll go with mountains.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What do you listen to on a long road trip? Podcast, music, books?
You're going to be really sad about this, but I actually shut this music off.
You don't listen to anything? Whoa.
Nope. It's like my time in the car by myself, I'm going somewhere, I literally am just like, I pause everything, shut everything off. Because it's like, I have so much noise going on all around me that it's like, I'm going to go silent today.
I get that. Yeah, I could see that. I guess I never thought, when you spend 400 hours on 50 events, I guess a little bit of a quiet time would make incredible sense.
Drives my husband nuts. He's like, I'm like, no, shut it off. I'm like, it's annoying. I don't want to hear it. Turn it down.
You had a lot of speedrun questions.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, in my prep for the show today, I found that you still have an active MySpace page. Did you know that?
The Brat one, I think it's called.
It's a...
I miss MySpace. I had so much fun on that thing. I had the music and the backgrounds and...
It's pretty low key right now. I mean, it's just like a black screen and a picture, but
when it comes back,
Yeah.
you're going to be ready.
Oh, totally.
Since 2001, But no, I haven't seen a MySpace page in years. But anyway, I saw that in prep.
I was actually, I think it was like not that long ago. I was thinking about it for some reason, and I went back on there, and it was like you had to like recover it or something. So, because I'm like, I had a lot of pictures on there that I forgot that I had, so I recovered it, and I even remembered my own email password for it. I'm like, that was crazy. So.
That is impressive.
MySpace was very influential for many months.
It was, and I think the cool thing was like you could like I'm a nerd when it comes to like coding and like HTML and stuff like that. So the stuff you could have done with your page was phenomenal. Facebook is just boring and
Cookie cutter.
Yeah, not as fun.
That's probably why you like Android better than Apple.
Yeah, I have an iPad Pro that I use for work, like for like some designing stuff on it, and I've had it for over a year, and I don't know how to do more than like 3 things on it.
My kid's
It's
fine.
like me. Check my email, make a phone call,
Facebook.
shoot a text message.
Yeah.
Well, and what's funny is like, so we have our register systems out at the hall, and they're Android devices, and they're all hooked up with Android, but the app for it is an iOS app. So you have to have an Apple product to use the actual app for it to work. And I'm like, well, whoever created this was not smart. So I had to get an Apple product so I could actually use my register system.
He's laughing on his yacht right now.
Yeah. That's my uncle.
Nice. We'll tell him that the whole. I think it's funny because like the AirPods came out, and like cause everybody wanted these wireless headphones, and then now they came out with $100 cable. You can hook them together so they don't fall off your ears, and then like, or you could just go
Just
spend.
use your old your earbuds.
That's funny.
AirPods, but absolutely. Well,
You got the red lightning round. I'm going to duck out of the lightning round this week. You covered some
perfect.
good ones. I don't have.
Is there anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about today?
Just that we are, just for everybody to remember that we're not just a standalone facility. Like we do all sorts of things, and that we can do our boutique that we do invitations, and we can do like customized shirts and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it's not just a facility that you have to have your event at, that we can literally go anywhere and do everything.
And how do people get a hold of you?
They can call us at 763-688-1172, or they can email us at events@classichallmn.com.
Perfect. For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese.
I'm Mark Benzer.
And I'm Britt.
Thank you.